Alright, hey guys, today the topic of interest is how to build and raise your self-esteem. So in this video I'm going to be covering other aspects of self-esteem that we haven't covered on the channel as of yet. Now what I want you guys first of all to understand is that self-esteem is something that's not fixed, it's something that can change. Many people often think that, either I've got self-esteem or I do not have self-esteem and that's just the way it's going to be. No, self-esteem is something you can change. Now self-esteem is something that you can raise based on the decisions that you make. And in the same way that you can raise it by the decisions that you make, you can also diminish it by the actions that you take. So one aspect of self-esteem that's often overlooked is the practice of living consciously. Now when I'm talking about living consciously, what does this mean? Living consciously means that you're living your life on purpose. You're living in line with your truth. You're living in line with your professed values. Because when you're living out your truth, when you're living in line with what you believe to be true, you begin to feel good and your self-esteem builds and grows and grows. But in the same way, every time you go against your truth, every time you go against what you know to be right for you, you lose faith in your own eyes and your self-esteem begins to diminish. So let me give you a personal example. So I remember I had a friend who would always arrive late, would make plans and consistently arrive late. So I remember we'd go to the gym, would agree to meet at 4 o'clock and this person would arrive at 5 o'clock. And every time they arrived late, I'd never say anything because at the same time I didn't want to upset my friend and I didn't want to lose the relationship because I really cared about them. They were my friend. So they arrived late, I wouldn't say anything and inwardly I'd be like, I'm upset, I'm not happy with this, but I'd be like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. And then we'll do the session. And I remember there came one day when this person arrived particularly late. I think we agreed to meet at 4 o'clock and they arrived at 5:30. Or they arrived so late. And they arrived and they were kind of like, ha ha ha, sorry I'm late. But it wasn't like a genuine apology. It was like, it's a kind of apology where it's like, oh, I know Josh will wait for me, ha ha ha, let's start the session. And I didn't say anything and I felt so bad. And the thing is this, like every time like you feel a type of way, you feel bad and you don't say anything, you lose faith in your own eyes. Because by me not saying anything and pretending that everything was okay and going along with it, I was communicating to my own mind that what I want is not important, that my values aren't important. Because one of my professed values is timekeeping. I value people honoring my time. So when people don't do that, I feel a type of way about it. But I couldn't expect my friend to honor my time because I wasn't honoring it myself. So I was sitting there inwardly resentful and thinking, they don't care about me, they don't value my time. But I didn't say anything and things didn't change until I began to change the dynamic of the relationship. So whenever we make plans for like 4 o'clock, I'd give them a 5-minute waiting time. And if they were later than 5 minutes, I'd start the session without them. Or I'd start the activity with them, I'd go on without them. And by me doing that, I felt a lot better about myself because I started to take charge of my own time. I was like, what, now I'm in control, now I feel good. And eventually my friend learned that, Josh isn't going to wait around for me anymore. And they began to arrive on time themselves. So they could arrive on time the whole time. It's just that I was teaching them that it was okay for them to arrive late because I wouldn't say anything. I'd just say that, it's okay. And it's the same thing with you guys. Whenever you feel a type of way, whenever you feel your truth arising in you, it's important that you act in accordance with your truth. Don't pretend that things are okay when they're not. Don't just sweep things under the rug because sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it is easier to sweep things under the rug and pretend that everything's okay because, you avoid confrontation and, everything's okay. But this is the thing, that when you're not consciously directing your own life and you're just allowing things to be, other people or circumstances will direct your life. And oftentimes, the people who direct your life or circumstance when they direct your life, it doesn't direct your life in a way that is in line with your best interest. Sure, it's easy to go down the streams of life, like, oh, go with the flow. It's fine, I'm going to go with the flow. But the thing is this, is that when you go down the stream of life, there comes a point where there's a fork in the river and you've got to make a decision whether you go left or right. And normally the current is stronger in the direction that leads to disaster. The current is stronger in the direction where the waterfall is. And when you go down that waterfall, you crash. So it's important that you practice this. Practice living consciously. Now I want to emphasize the word practice. Practice means that you do it over and over again. You're not always going to get it right, but it's important that you're aware. You're aware of what you're doing. You're aware when that feeling arises within you. And you act in accordance with this. Because I tell you now, if you do that and you do this consistently, you begin to feel better and better about yourself and your self-esteem will grow and it will rise. Okay, so practice and apply the things I'm teaching in this video. Okay, so that's the video of the day, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Alright, goodbye.